Well, hello everyone. I haven't done well. Let me rephrase it. I put up one flight sim video recently of just a non-audio or sorry, a video of a flight from Tokyo to Osaka. No commentary, just kind of the flight, kind of seeing the early morning Japan with the cloud going through the clouds and stuff. Just kind of fun. But I was thinking like making a video of kind of like my reaction, thoughts, and whether and honestly kind of like the theme about Flight Simulator 24 that was announced at the Xbox showcase very recently. Especially like should this be a full game? Should this be maybe more of an expansion pack in my opinion? And honestly, I needed time to think about it. When I first saw the trailer, it looked great, all over the hype. But then it's like, well, then I'm thinking about like they're supposed to have like a 10-year plan with the current Flight Simulator game. They've done some major world updates. It's a huge store of their own stuff, and obviously, like third-party content. So I had a lot of questions now with this game, and some stuff actually, believe it or not, more information has been released. They put out like a Q&A, actually, on June 12th. Yeah, so not too long, after the trailer and so forth. So I thought, okay, I've read through that. I've kind of been looking more into it. So I think I finally have some time to think about it and have some thoughts. So what I was thinking I'm gonna do, we're gonna, I won't play the trailer fully, uninterrupted. I'm basically gonna play it, then stop, talk, play, stop. I'll put a link for the full trailer for those who haven't seen it. I do recommend it. But that said, I won't talk in the middle of the presentation of the trailer. I'll pause it then talk. All right, but let's get it started. All right, I'm gonna do a quick pause here. A couple reasons. So one, it looks like this new game, and this is actually going to be a full game. I actually didn't know it was going to be a full game or like a DLC, but no, it's a full new game. It looks like they're going to add a lot more mission type stuff, especially like fire and rescue, like EMT stuff, which I'm really excited to see more of that. Especially um, like I guess that's the one thing I will say with the current flight sim. It's a simulator, but they've tried to add some mission stuff, and it's been okay. Like they have like landing challenges are fun, and they added stuff of like Top Gun and so forth. So they've added some stuff, but it is really more just flying around and seeing the world. That's really that's really what most people do. They don't really have a lot of like content in that regard. They've added some stuff, but nothing that I would say has been groundbreaking or anything that's like super enticing. At least for me. Maybe for some other people it is. Obviously, the big appeal to me is just seeing the world and having live weather and data. So I'm really excited to see that. Also, one other thing I thought this was really fascinating. This screenshot here or this moment here, they got real airline liveries. Now they've added this in the store, like a third party. People have been doing this. You can download them to, off of websites and so forth. So there's been libraries been added over time, but it's fascinating. This is actually in the official Flight Simulator trailer because they have not made or released really their own libraries or airline libraries. They have their own like Flight Sim or some World Aviation Club thing, whatever, or some generic color. But these are actually real libraries, and I can tell this is obviously in Portugal, either Portugal or Spain. These are that's what these two planes are. I can't make out that one very well. Also, I'm curious. Looking at this closer, I can't tell precisely if this is an Airbus or a 737. Let's take a look. Yeah, 737. Let's do a 900. You have the max. Of course, it wants to do a math calculator. Yeah, so So this is like a 737. See, I'm looking at this. This is the reason why I want to do this. I'm going to do an Airbus 320. Or 319, because they're really the only different. You have to tell the difference is really like the nose and stuff. That's kind of, see, it's more pointy. This one's more round. Let's take a look real quick. Ooh, see, this might be a Boeing plane. That nose looks more like a Boeing plane right there. Yeah, see. Um, Telling by the jets, I think this would probably be a 737 Max. And this is actually good if they included some more. That's actually one thing they didn't mention. They're going to include more airliners, apparently. Yeah, see, pointy nose. The engines are bigger, so that's why. That's interesting. That could be a 737 Max. But anyway, let's continue on with the trailer now. This is like the ambulance part. Ooh, oh no, 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, see again. It multi-millions. I can tell this is the Airbus. But yeah, it looks like there might be a couple other versions there. It's really hard to tell. They're smart enough to like keep in the background and stuff. Obviously, this would be more of a newer plane, or at least this livery and setup. That looks like a 747 in the background. Now look at it. So it looks like it came from there to there. This is either 73. This looks like a 737, but could be maybe a 777 as well. Anyways, continue. Now I won't lie, this looks really cool, and knowing me, I'm probably gonna get really frustrating because I always be off by like a few, like a couple, like a foot or something. Now this is cool because this is a confirmed new plane than this giant behemoth, which does exist, and it's like really massive cargo plane. It looks really weird. I'm trying to think what this. I'm actually trying to remember what they call that plane. It's like the Airbus. Let's say I'll type in Airbus massive plane. It might. Yeah, nah, it's giving me the 380. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Yeah, yeah, the whale plane they call it. So it's pretty new too. Like it's from 2018. So it's definitely not an old plane. It's funny, Boeing trying to get smaller, more compact. Well, like seems like Airbus goes the opposite direction sometimes. This is cool. Get to see this plane. It's pretty common, like in the military and so forth. So I thought this was very fascinating because there is live weather in this game, in the current game. But I can tell you, it's it's a little limited. It usually captures rain or I think snow to an extent, and obviously high winds. But like a lot of people like I have flown into like a hurricane or a typhoon, in that situation. But they do create tornadoes in those storms, and there's been other fronts there's probably been tornadoes. They don't have those in this game, so they've added that. And also, which I'm kind of implying, it's actually mentioned in these FAQ. They're trying to do. It looks like they're going to try to do more dynamic weather. Now, what that will entail entirely, we're not entirely sure yet, but it does show promise with this tornado, and looks like there'll be missions related to that. This I was really happy to see. This is the A10 Warthog, I believe. Is that right? Let me do A10 Warthog. Yep. Yeah, I believe it's the A10 Warthog. I'm very certain that's how it looks like. So, that's a cool plane. I think it's one of the cooler planes in the military. It's been around for 50 years, but yet still utilized, still very useful. So, it can obviously get pretty low altitude. So, anyway, let's continue. I know a lot of people are excited for that. The hot air balloons, that we can kind of get up in the air, but slowly move around to see everything. Because that is the even with the slower planes, it's a little difficult at times to kind of see everything where you just may want to stop. Like, I pause my plane, that's the best way to do it, but they actually have something we can kind of fly and not mess with the pause options and so forth. I think it's really cool.
Play it day one with Game Pass.
Alright, that's enough of that. So, I guess I do the initial thoughts, when I saw it, I was really excited until the screen when it showed 2024, and I tell you why. They talked about a 10-year plan with the current game, um, and I thought it sounds like they might be abandoning it, but I don't think that's the case. I'll explain later. Uh, and then B also like I had a lot of questions which we'll answer soon. Like, what about everything I've purchased? They've done a lot of world updates where those automatically be carried over into the new game. Uh, Honestly, why is it a full new game? Because I felt like they've done a lot so far with Flight Sim 2020, and I felt like they're going to keep kind of continue adding on to that. And when I first saw it, it's like, well, these missions and stuff that feels more like an update. Now, what makes it feel like, oh, maybe it needs to be a full new game might be the weather stuff and some other dynamic stuff they're talking about. And I think they actually expanded that in the FAQ that they didn't show in the trailer, which we'll go into. So let's kind of go over that. But the purchasing thing is the big one, and that's the first good news. I'll get down to where that is. Loading time. Yeah, here we go. This is what I cared about. Where all purchases users have made from marketplace instrument. This is with very few exceptions. I'm curious what that means. That's a very loose phrase, but it says virtually all. That's a bold word there. All add-ons that work in Microsoft Flight Simulator today will function in Flight Simulator 24. Add-ons that were purchased from the InSimulator marketplace. And we'll go into that in a little bit. Will not need to be repurchased in Flight Simulator 24. Now, for me, that is huge. That is a big thing there because I was like, I and a lot of others have spent quite a bit of money in the marketplace. I've bought, bought a couple planes. I bought a few planes. I've bought some, actual airports like St. Louis Airport. A little more of a random airport. That's my childhood airport I grew up with and flew out of as a kid. A few others as well, like Narita and Tokyo, airports I like. So I'm like, so that means a lot to me because that you think about it, even with sales, you're spending anywhere from like $7 to $20 on a lot of this content. Some of this content is even like $50. Like some of the planes, we'll go over that in a bit. I'll showcase some of the store for those who maybe have been there a while and haven't seen it. I mean, they're not cheap, and it's easily I've done a little here and there. There's probably people that have spent maybe like hundreds of dollars at this point in this game because they love Flight Simulator. It's a bit it's one of those franchises that people have loved for a long time and spent a lot of time. And it's kind of like and the way I describe to people who may not get it, and I don't think everyone will like it or get it. It's one of those like comfy games. It's kind of fun to kind of mess around, learn how the inner workings of a plane work, especially like the cockpit and so forth. Understanding the terminology, flight patterns and landing and so forth. For me, it's a nice, comfortable, relaxing game in the process where you're up in the air especially with the Flight Simulator 2020, you get to see the entire world very beautifully. Like it's so well done. Even on medium settings, it looks gorgeous, and you get to see places that I've either been to or haven't been to, and so forth. So it's kind of neat to kind of able to see it again from the sky. But anyway, I digress there. So, but anyway, that was my biggest question. Now, the next one, actually, probably that, and is it a standalone sequel or is it a paid update? It is a full paid standalone simulator in the next generation that launched in 2020. This one is very important, though. Whereas after this originally, this current aircraft and airports that are in 2020, as well as virtually all marketplace add-ons, will be supported in 24. Backtracking is just went first. I kind of jumped ahead. That includes purchases. Again, very important because I do love the real version of the airports, and it's just kind of cool to get that. Like the AI or how they built the generic airports of a generic set is actually not bad. But man, some of these like airports like St. Louis or Charles de Gaulle, they have gorgeous terminal buildings, very unique buildings, and it's cool to see that in this game. And that's what for me that actually means a little bit. Even though you're on the air, maybe a few minutes in and out, but it's like I like seeing rural airports, especially the airports I've been to. Get to kind of like, oh yeah, it looks exactly like that in real life. All right, let's see here. Now, according to this, as of now, I'm going to take this as I'll be honest. I'm going to be very skeptical. The roadmap is still there. Also, free Dune DLC. They're going to continue support in 2020 post 24 launch. So they're going to do two. It's funny. It's kind of starting to become like a Windows update. Yeah, new Windows system. We'll continue supporting Windows 10 and 11 at the same time. Very interesting. They're doing that with a game. You know, you don't see that usually with gaming at all. Like Call of Duty, once a new game comes out, they don't give a rat's ass anymore about the old game, from last year or 2 years now, whatever their current, pattern is anymore. I don't even know. We talked about that. I thought this is interesting. They're gonna try and make the loading times better. I do think the loading times are, iffy. Like it depends on some of the DLC too and stuff that causes that. Obviously, some of the DLC can break the game, which I went into, especially like the community stuff. Um, they're gonna try and keep it as low as it is now, and try to reduce update and load time. So again, I think I'm gonna wait and see what that really is. I think that'd be kind of hard, but who knows? Maybe they've optimized it a lot better moving forward. It does work. The new game will work on Xbox. I am thinking like, well, the last game out will come out 4 years ago when this comes out, so next year. It's been out 3 years, and that was also for Xbox. So I do think they do need to tone stuff down to make it work for the console, and I assume they're going to try and apply a lot of that same standard into at least some minimal elements into the PC version as well, but along with the Ultra and so forth, because that is one strength of the Flight Sim I liked a lot. A lot of customization elements, a lot of stuff you can tweak to make it run as best as you can with your system. And I don't have the best system by any means, but I can make it look pretty. The only issue sometimes is some frame rate drops right now. This one I mentioned, kind of talked earlier about that. Thinking that might be a bonus, but they haven't announced the full list of aircraft available. They probably won't, probably for weeks or a few months at least. But it's going to include 7 new airliners. I'm very happy by that because it's the base game, and then with the collector's edition, like one of the editions, it only really had about 3 airliners. They had this Airbus 319, I believe. It's either 319, 320. The Boeing 747, which is great, and then you get the Boeing Dreamliner. That's it, and nothing else. It didn't have an Airbus like 330, like one of their long haul planes. It didn't have the Boeing 777, which is a very common long haul plane. No Boeing 737, which is a very common short mid range. They did not make. There's a good CRJ DLC. That's a third party company that made that. They didn't have any regional planes that you would see, especially like Bombardier. As I mentioned already, CRJ. So it was very limited. And I know, like, I want to be fair. Like, this game isn't just trying to replicate an airline by any means. It's about flying in general. But I did hope for a few more, at least a couple more options with the airlines, because I can tell that I and a lot of people were playing those planes, and because they're meant for longer, they go faster. Like the fastest planes would be the military jets, but they go a lot faster than a lot of the 30 prop planes they put in there. I mean, the prop planes are fun, especially for short, circuit around an area. But it was like, some of us enjoyed kind of like, I enjoy putting on almost like simulation, just take off in the airport and then have it simulate, AI pilot like 2-3 hours to go over the country or go over an area. Just it's cool to see like, fly from Chicago to, let's say, Dallas, and just kind of see the landscape change a bit, or like, do like, if you want to do like 4-ish hour flight, Chicago, Los Angeles is gorgeous. You see, you go from the Midwest, flat to mountains. Like, there's so much you see in that time, and you got to use an airliner for that. Maybe the military jet can be fine. I'm not. I won't lie. I don't know the fuel. The fuel. I don't know how much fuel it can handle on top of my head. But the prop planes can't do that, and it would take like 10 hours of the prop plane if they did, because you can turn off gas. Just unlimited gas basically. But anyway, for me, I'm curious what that is. I'm gonna assume. I want to stick on this real quick. I'm gonna assume it's mostly going to be modern airliner planes, which I get. If they put, it'd be cool to do some classics, and by classes I mean like the DC-10, like the DC-10 plane. This used to be a very common long haul plane you saw until probably about I say the early mid, probably around mid 2000s, so getting phased out. It's a tri-liner jet, which you don't see at all anymore. These things got loud; they were awesome. Or like the MD-80 and McDonnell Douglas 80. That was a very common, I would say, continental U.S. or like mid-haul plane that you saw like American Airlines and Delta had, and they just phased them out in the last 5-ish years. Most of them are. There's still some left. Like I'd say that most of them were gone by 2010s or slowly going good, but there were still some in service until the mid late 2010s. So it's like, so you get the MD-80. Like this design. Like it'd be cool to, because the reason, and there's a few reasons why. Is one, a lot of modern planes have a very similar design of two engines underneath the wings. And there's reasons for that. It's efficient. The engines are so good now they can just have two big engines. They don't need four like the Boeing 747. They don't need tri-jets. They don't put them back there anymore. But for me, it'd be cool to see some airlines with variety, because the only way you really see that's really on the smaller planes like the CRJ or the Bombardier have a little more variation where the jets are in terms of design elements. Otherwise, you don't see that really at all in medium or long haul anymore. Minus like the Airbus 380, which is like 2 stories. That's the only exception of a 4-jet engine that's still kind of in service. Even the 747 is not really in service anymore, at least by the commercial airlines. More common on the cargo side, but on the commercial airlines, only ones I know for sure is Lufthansa and Korean Air. There might be a couple others still, but those are the only ones, at least, that like come to the U.S. that I know of. Long haul overseas flights. Otherwise they're all 2 engines Airbus, 2 engines Boeing 777 or 787 Dreamliners. And I like those planes, I really do. But part of me like to see like some classic stuff, or maybe even like, the Boeing, 737, but they do the 200 variant, which gets super loud. Like it's awesome. Like this is how the jets are, very different. They use I think at the 300 they started using the GE jets, but these ones I think they call Watney or something. I apologize, don't know on top of my head. Just say like an example. Yeah, I like listening to this stuff. I won't play it too long. It's probably gonna be too loud. Forgot to turn that. See, nice and loud. Oh. Yeah, see, that's how it looks when it took off. Anyway, I don't want to play. I'll put a link in there, and there's also others like the MD-80s and the DC-10. But for me, I would like to see that. I think it'd be really cool. They have a 500 team members, so it is definitely a full game. Here we go. Yeah, so real live aviation fields, variety of organizations. We kind of talked about that earlier. I am excited for that. I did feel like that could be more like a DLC or like a add-on. Looks like they're going to include this as a full game. Obviously going to include more planes and stuff. So that's where I get a little mixed. Should this be a full game or DLC? I think this is the main reason why there's going to be a full game, is really down here. Obviously the static road, ground details, 3D, roof cliffs. But this is where it gets different. They have animals now, but they don't really move. They're just kind of there. It looks like they're going to try and include, and we saw that in the trailer, like animals and herds that move. This one fascinates. Worldwide live ship traffic. Now that, I think this is where we kind of start going into why it's going to be a new game, because now we're adding a lot. Like this is a new live data feed. They got live air feeds, and you can see live planes where they're on the world, but they don't show. But ship traffic is a different one. And I'm really curious. I'm surprised by that, so I'm wondering maybe that's tied to helicopters or missions. It'd be interesting to see what that is. This one also, we mentioned air traffic, but look, they're going to have models and libraries. Kind of backtracking to the trailer I mentioned, they showcase that. That's big. Now, because when you fly, like, usually the plane that's put in the Airbus 319, like, it says models too, and I'm like, there's quite a few models. Like, it's not as diverse as it was maybe like in the 90s where you had, as I mentioned, MD-80, 737s, 57s, 777, Airbus, like, a lot of airlines now have consolidated under like a few core models. Like the, at least like the main airline, not like the regional airlines, like their regional holding company like Express or Eagle, like for United or American. But like, You know, you look at United, a lot of it's really 737s. Now there's variations like the 900 or 800 or the Max, but yeah, outside looking at it closely, you aren't going to tell a huge difference unless you look at the engine really. Maybe the interior's a little updated. Same thing like the 757, 200, 300 ER. It looked very almost the same on the outside. Same with the 747s. Anyway, but they're going to include models in live. So I'm really curious. It makes me wonder what models to include and what liveries. Are they going to include everything that's already on the store, which we'll go over in a little bit? Improved vehicle traffic. They kind of show that already. I don't or show that in the current game, but it's just kind of there. So I'm curious what that means. Maybe it looks more realistic. Maybe it's more accurate. Again, it'd be kind of a cool element. Then this one, full seasons. I'll be honest, they kind of sort of do that, but not in a good way. It's mostly just when it shows snow. But like, I flew over Mount Fuji just a few days ago in this game, and it's like it was very snow covered. And I know right now, in reality, that's nowhere near accurate because they have their hiking season kicking off real soon, and their hiking season is basically like now, if it started yet till early September because the snow's melted and it's okay to traverse up there. So that looks cool. You know, they're gonna have the northern lights basically and so forth. Tornado storms. Curious on the storms because we do have that already. You can see lightning in the clouds, but maybe it's a lot more accurate or a little impactful. So that's kind of the breakdown of the game. I think for me it becomes a full game with this stuff because that's the reason is I say that just this is my little understanding of software engineering and stuff. That's a lot. That's several new data feeds they're trying to put into the game and build on, like live ship traffic. Like that's a full new data feed. And you can do it as an update or DLC, but that's a lot. I can just trying to trying to comprehend that. They have live air traffic feeds already, but now it's just accurate. So I think they're improving that, and they're in models and lives. That's another data feed on top of something already. The live air traffic, because that's big in my view. Vehicle traffic, it's like whatever to me, to be honest. Full seasons, that's actually a big new element to the engine they would have to work on, along with the Tornado Storm. So I think with this stuff, I think that makes it almost a full game, and it sounds simple at first, but it's a lot. Like you think about how they use satellite imagery of the world to create this 3D replica of Earth, and they already got like live cloud coverage and live air traffic data as it is. I mean, that is just massive and impressive, and they're trying to add more into it, make it more realistic, add more, liveliness to the world. I think that, to me, that's where it does become a full sequel. I'm curious down the road. I assume it'd be at least $60, $70 for the base game. I'm curious if they're going to do like 3 editions again, maybe just 1 edition. If you purchase 2020, do you get a discount? I do have questions like that. I'm curious what they're going to do down the road. Because for me, what makes Flight Simulator unique, it obviously makes money with, obviously selling the game itself, but it's also the story and the updates and so forth, which, I might as well go open that up real quick, so. All those games are bought on sale that I have not played. Yeah, we'll just open this up real quick. Hopefully this will only take like a minute or so. Have a quick sip of water. I'll be ending this video soon, by the way. Really, the bulk of the video is that. So, but I will say, kind of like question that I kind of want to put out there. Should this be a full game or more of a expansion or DLC? Like a big, not just like a free update, maybe like a paid update. I originally would say no, but I think reading about the potential data feeds like that, then it becomes a yes. And hopefully I've done the best job to explain why. It is something that sounds simple, but it really is not, especially with the live feeds. And I'll showcase that briefly here when this loads in. Probably should have this on earlier, but sometimes the music plays in the background. It's really annoying. So, and I was kind of debating if I should want to go in here or not, but it's like, okay. Oh, no. Well, maybe it'll just take a minute. It's 2 gigabytes. Yeah. I should open that first. I apologize. But I will say this, enhanced 3D trees. So it's just, I think this is where a lot of the work is going into. Well, that's said, I'm looking at this. They're trying to work on, like, even that, I can see that, okay, aerodynamics, physics, simulation, aircraft system. So I think, this I'm curious, wear and tear system. I think this could be quite a bit. I'd be curious to see more details as we go further along. Obviously, this is still, just announced. They don't have a date for 24. It just says 24. It could be in the summer. Like, I think Flight Sim 2020 came out. When did it come out? Like summer, I think? Yeah, August 17th. So that was a summer game. Maybe it's around that time. Maybe they push it towards the end of the year. Hard to say. So, but at least as of now, they are going to continue. Yeah, they will continue support. Other people have reported this the last couple of weeks. Yeah, see, as I said, I wasn't the only one that felt this way. I mean, I was excited to see all the stuff that's showing off. It's just when I saw 24, that just kind of threw me off my rocker for a little bit. It's like, well, I thought you guys had a 10-year plan, and I'm like, but support virtually all add-ons and so forth. Then I think that will help a lot. Because like, I don't want to repurchase that stuff. I don't mind buying a new game if I think it's worth it. Those live data feeds is really making it more worth it in my opinion. For me, I don't think it'd be for everyone. For people who just want to see the world and stuff, it'd be one of those like, get the original, get the 2020 game. Yeah, don't get the new one. So. Now, what is interesting, if I have an issue with some of the updates I have seen, they've been adding stuff like this one. This last one looks good. I actually need to play it and probably do that later on. Oceania and Antarctica. But like, they were doing world updates on like adding on to France and Germany, which is all fine and stuff. But part of me goes, why not Japan? That was the first world update. And they've really done nothing since then. So I've been a little disappointed. They've had stuff in America, which I get. But yeah. So, I apologize. It's kind of a lull right here. I'm just trying to get this thing loaded, and it's moving a little slow, it feels like. But yeah, see, these are the activities. Discovery flights, just flying around, landing challenges, bush trips. So they have, activities and stuff, but they're definitely, that does seem like to be the big thing moving forward with the 24 game. As I meant, as we kind of went over. I do wonder if it's just really going to be like the fire and rescue, construction. I'm curious what it might entail. There's no more they haven't shown yet. So they're going to have, as I said, if let's say it's at least a year out, that's quite a bit of time to showcase a lot more than just, some stuff like that so far. But who knows? Instead, there's 500-person team and so forth. Oh, this is so slow. I may just end it here soon if it doesn't work, but I'll give it another minute. Can I actually look at the marketplace on here? Well, yes, but it's a spreadsheet. Well, this kind of gives you like here you go, $31. It's on sale. There's some of these $20. Now, see, these are the creators, so they're the ones that kind of create these price points. Sometimes I don't get their price points, like why they pick them. $9.99 seems to be a big one, especially for like Dream Scenery. They do like night and stuff. I've done a couple of them. Ah, it's finally done. They're pretty decent. Yeah, don't worry, we're not. Real quick, so like the live data. So right now it's 7 a.m. in Japan. This would be good. Let's see if it's anything's showing up. That's odd. I thought it would show live planes. Oh wait, do I have to turn that on? Oh, I know. You know what? I'll go to Chicago. It's hopping in this time of day. Let's see if anything shows up. Oh, here you go. Yeah, see? AW. What's AWI? Oh, here we go. More showing. Hey, okay, that's American Airlines. Oh, I know what this is. This would be a good example. So this is Air Wisconsin. Where did it go? I lost it. Yeah, these are players. So B772. Huh. But yeah, you see they got real live data. 738. So that's an actual Airbus. But let's say I really want that Air Wisconsin I saw. Yeah, Millet. So these are players. This is a 738. I assume it's a, yeah, 737. Oh, you know what? 737-800. Yeah. Let's just hop in here real quick, see what happens. But it's probably just gonna be, yeah. I have that library selected. Let's see if it uses the real library, or let's see what it does. But yeah, we don't have the 737. I don't know why this isn't full screen like it usually is. Yeah, see, it says A323. I don't know why.
All Nippon November Hotel 4 Tree.
Yeah, so it just uses the last
or
plane.
malfunctioning. Reset squawk 2625.
Anyway, we can get out of here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, main media. So that's an example. So in theory, they're going to have like real models and libraries, or at least to whatever extent the database will probably have. Then finally, just go over the marketplace a bit, just to kind of showcase, why I cared a lot, about that stuff transferring. But yeah, here's some highlights. That's $25. Oh, that's cool. That's a free one that Microsoft put on. I gotta get that. There you go. You have this Ontario National Airport. Yeah, it's $18.49. These are on sale. Sometimes I buy this stuff. But yeah, here's some other planes. So that's on sale, $12.99. And these are actually Microsoft planes. You have to buy these. These are add-ons they've added over time. Some got interesting reviews, like this one. It's interesting. Normally they have good reviews, but some of them they don't. Yeah, these are the discount. This is like part of the packs and stuff. Yeah, this bundle I've rarely seen ever charge $100, but they had a whole bundle was like $100. That's an example. Let's say you bought that. How upset you'd be with a new game you don't get to keep it. I mean, seriously. But like this, like this one, someone did create the 737-700. I won't lie, I'm not gonna buy it at $70. That's just ridiculous. As much as I would like to have it, it's not worth that much. If it was like 20 to 30, sir, but that's ridiculous. It really is. Especially now. There's so many planes and so forth. Yeah, I'm sure they did a great job. It's like, you have a lot of other good planes that are charging like $20. And I'm like, come on. And some of them are like large planes too, not just, that airliner. Yeah, turboprop. Yeah, see military jet. Like this giant behemoth is only $12.99, and normally it's $20. Yeah, but these are some of the airlines. See, some people have put in the other Airbuses, like the 318, 320. The reason I would not buy them, these are all like, they're slightly different in size and obviously how they handle, but they're all kind of like a base model, just kind of built, kind of like the 737. The Boeing 737 started with 100, now it's like 9 Max and 10 Max, where the biggest changes with some of the size and the jets they use, but it's not like a rapidly new design. And then the other issue is like, see, they have a 737-800. See, they're charging $70 for each one. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Then you have this guy, which I think I bought one of them. They're not really well done. He took like the base I think like Airbus plane and just kind of put a paint job over it. Like he didn't really try to capture it and try to rip it off. You know, $20. Like it flies okay. It's just, you know, I bought one. I won't lie, it is a little pricey. That one might be a little more worth it, but I'll wait for a sale. But yeah, you can. But my point is, I did one in on this. Like, you know, these are, you know, people spend a lot of money on this. See, I bought this one. This one was pretty mediocre. That's why I'm will keep an eye out for all the. This one I thought has been worth it. Anyway, so yeah, kind of keep an eye out, you know, for sales and stuff. But yeah, that doesn't include the airports. I mean, like, look at all the airports we have added in this game. I mean, it's just insane. You know, some of these are small, some of these are big. Like this one would be, you know, New Orleans. But it's like, okay, that's $15 here, $15 there. So I'm glad. It looks like they're trying to include most of it, especially because I bought. I guess they included these. Yeah, it's in the landmark. That's what that is. But like, you know, for example, I bought this one. You know, I want even though it's okay, you know, not the best. Someone added a new one. It looks like, but. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, but I got the Naruto one, and that one's awesome. Like that one is really well done. I'll showcase that real quick. Yeah. Yeah. See, 4.5. I want to keep that. I don't want to lose that. So, anyway, that kind of sums up basically Flight Sim 2024. What we know. Overall, I am excited for it. I am gonna be a little. I don't know if it'll be a day one for me yet. I do think they might have justified a full game of all the new potential live data feeds, weather changes, seasons, because there's a lot of elements going into the world that would be kind of difficult, I think, to do in a regular update, in my opinion, or even like a DLC. It'd be a lot, especially with the amount of people working on it. But you know, wait and see. We're gonna have at least a year until it comes out. My guess would be a little longer than a year, probably late summer, fall 24 is my guess. But who knows? We'll see. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a good one.